All right. This one is going to be extremely. Well, it might be sloppy. I completely forgot about it, and I'm rushing doing it. So, because I still want it to be unbroken up with the rest of them. So, all right, we're going to get into it. But the most popular thing, well, one of the most recent things that I've seen, um, that people complain about was this new uh, California sex offender law. And I'm going to usnews.com, and I'm just going to read some stuff from that. Now, the problem that people have with it is they keep saying that it allows for them to, um, it legalizes pedophilia, and I haven't found. I'm not sure if it will be public, but I haven't found the actual bill itself to read verbatim. But what I keep saying on different sites is that that's not what it says. It just gives discretion to a judge based on what if they think the person should be registered. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean they don't do jail time. It means whether their name is going to be registered or not. Now, if you want to say, well, that's still wrong, well, yeah, they will still receive jail time. They just wouldn't be on a registry. Now, if you want to, take that up with the courts, then fine. But don't say when you misrepresent something that poorly. This is why when people see cases like murder cases or something like that, and a person ends up getting off, they don't understand how that person got off when they obviously did something wrong. Like, I think it was the Trayvon Martin case. I think people said they overcharged George Zimmerman with something. Like, it should have been, I think they said it should have been like manslaughter 2 or something like that, but they tried to get him for like murder, like first degree, and get him life and all that stuff. So on the particular basis of what you're trying the person for is really what gets your case dropped and dismissed. So it's real important to understand what exactly you're asking for. So the title is California Governor Signs Bill Changing Sex Offender Law. And starts off saying Governor Gavin Newsom on Friday signed a law that would give judges a say on whether to list someone as a sex offender for having oral or anal sex with the minor. The bill will expand the discretion currently granted judges in statutory rape cases and was promoted as bringing fairness under the law to LGBT defendants. So basically, I think the law used to be set up in a way to where if you molested a somebody of the same sex or something like this, is just my guess, because again, I haven't seen the bill. I couldn't find it. I think if you were to molest a gay or somebody of the same sex, that somehow you would avoid being registered. And this bill now allows them to actually put you on the registry or something like that. All I know is it doesn't have to do. It didn't make it legal. Like, come on. Like, I had to ask the lady that put it on my Facebook feed, like, did you read it? And all she could do was respond with, let me bring it up. I'm going to go real quick to her, what she responded with. Okay, so she posted, I think, a quote or something. It said, California. And then it says, quote, guys, I have a great idea. Let's reduce the penalties for child rape and basically legalize pedophilia in the state. And then it has God like burning the town down or something. Which, kind of like, to sidetrack real quick, don't you kind of like play God as stupid or not doing his job or something when you do this? Because he clearly didn't burn the city down or the state. He clearly is clearly still standing. So did he not do what he was supposed to do? But anyway, so that's what that said. Then I said, did you read the law? I should have asked, did you properly read what the bill meant? Is what I should have said. But she responded and said, pieces of it. That was enough for me. I can't believe this is the world we live in. And I tell her, I said, well, when I looked it up, I found that it said it gave discretion to a judge as opposed to being automatic, meaning I didn't specify whether, which is probably, she probably was confused. I didn't specify that it was like for the registry. I just said, maybe she took that as me saying that it wasn't automatic, they would go to jail. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt there. But she responded with, right, but with a 10-year-old age span. So a 20-year-old can have sex with a 10-year-old and it's not against the law, is how it is written. So a dirty, pedophile, corrupt Hollywood judge gets to make that call. Changes needed in that one. And I put, it's still illegal to be a pedophile, blah, blah, blah. But clearly she didn't read it like she said, because what I read said that it starts at age 14. All right, now, again, if you want to argue that and take it up with the courts, not arguing that, but she clearly got that part wrong. It starts at age 14, just to be specific. Now back to the article. I don't think I'm going to read this whole thing. This is long and I'm a slow reader. But it says, the current law in place for decades permits judges to decide whether a man should be placed on California's sex offender registry if he had voluntary intercourse with someone 14 to 17 years old and was no more than 10 years older than the person. So the judge is able to decide if he would be on it. But basically, I think what the bill is saying here, or the argument is here, is that if let's say a 25-year-old had consensual sex with a 15-year-old, that the judge would decide whether he would go on a registry. Now, I'm not sure. Maybe this is the outrage. If the judge would still be able to say, maybe, okay, well, you don't even have to go to jail. I don't know. I would think you still have to go to jail. I don't think jail time and the registry are not synonymous. They're not. Now, if I'm wrong on that, you can call me out on it, but I'm pretty sure they're not synonymous. But then it says, but that discretion only applied to a man who had vaginal intercourse. The new change permits judges to use that same discretion when the case involves voluntary oral or anal sex. Now think about that, people. This law is actually making it harder to be a predator, right? Because in your law, all you had to do was not go vag. That's it. Vag, it says, only apply to a man who had vaginal intercourse. Which, again, why is it to a man? Why is it not fucking women? Y'all know women do this shit too. But again, so if he wanted to avoid being on the registry, he would just have to go anal or get some oral sex, or perform oral sex on her, or just go get a little boy. So this actually makes it more difficult to evade the registry. The measure won't apply when a minor is under 14, when the age gap is larger than 10 years, or when either party says the sex wasn't consensual. People, that is 3 things that have to be met, right? So it's not making it easier. I don't know how stop reading shit or hearing shit and immediately going to this rage. Like, stop. This is the problem that I have with positivity. Like, people give me shit for my name, but positivity is the problem with you people. You just want to be positive and sound like you're doing the right thing to the detriment. It actually clouds your judgment, clouds your critical thinking, because all you want to do is sound like you're being positive. You're actually you're actually doing damage when you do that. Because if you get this bill like thrown out, you open up the door for them to molest kids in a way that even if they get caught, they don't have to get on the registry. So then when they get out of jail, they don't have to tell you, who I'm sure you're going to be sick if they're next door to you, that, hey, yeah, this is what I went to jail for. This is what I've done in my past. So I'm pretty sure will actually want this bill. You're being an idiot because you want to sound, nice and positive. The bill was introduced by State Senator Scott Wiener, a San Francisco Democrat. The law ends discrimination, quote, by treating LGBTQ young people, with the exact same way that straight young people have been treated since 1944, unquote. Wiener said in a statement, adding, quote, today, California took yet another step toward an equitable society, unquote. Equality California, a nonprofit civil rights group that co-sponsored the bill with Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, also applauded Newsom's signing. Quote, if we want a California for all, then we need a justice system that treats all Californians fairly and equally, regardless of who they are, what they look like, or whom they love. Executive Director Rick Chavez Bohr said in a statement released by Wiener's office. The bill passed the Assembly and Senate on split votes, with some members objecting to what they saw as an easing of punishment against those who have sex with minors. I really want to know what exactly was in the bill. I really want to see that for myself, because I don't want to believe that anybody in politics, in office, could see this and think that it's a bad thing. I really want to see that for myself. If you know where to find it, because I apparently suck at research, but if you can find it, please show it to me. I really want to see that bill. Quote, I cannot in my mind as a mother understand how sex between 24 years old and a 14-year-old could ever be consensual. How it could ever not be a registerable offense, unquote. Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez, D. San Diego, said before the bill's passage, quote, we should never give up on this idea that children should be in no way subject to a predator, unquote. Okay, people, here's the problem, right? I understand your concern about the age gap. I get that. The issue is, I've said before, we don't really know how to make an adult an adult and a non-adult a non-adult. We try to blur the ages so much here. It is incredibly ridiculous. And what I mean is, you can be no matter what age, this 14-year-old. So the 14-year-old consenting with sex with another 14-year-old, not illegal. Consenting with someone who's 19, I guess, is the cutoff point, because at that point you're just an adult, because we kind of as a society agreed that 18 is the cutoff point for some reason. So 14 and 19 at that point, no, not consensual. Well, why would you allow them to consent to another 14-year-old? If they can consent to sex, they can consent to sex. So you can't try to cut it to where, you can only consent. Think about that. You're indirectly telling them, yes, you can consent to sex within this age group. So when you do that, you actually give them the ability to consent. So if you're going to hold this position, you must somehow figure it out in a way that it is illegal for them to consent to sex at all. All right, that's the whole issue with that. All right, and I wouldn't fight you on it either way. Moving on. Online critics have falsely blasted the measures as legalizing pedophilia. The bill was supported by civil rights groups as well as the California District Association, California Police Association. And I think that's the end of it. What I want to do here, let's see. Now, just so everything can be specific and absolutely understood, I like to look up the definitions and make everything perfectly clear, right? So, pedophilia, right? Pedophilia is among, where's the fucking definition? I wanted a definition. Hold on. Okay, no. A pedophile is someone who's sexually attracted to children. Some pedophiles also rape or molest children. There's nothing much worse than a pedophile. Okay, I was looking for the number here. Okay, before I go back and look for the number that would make somebody legally a pedophile, here's what I have with the problem with the definition, right? When you say a pedophile is someone who's sexually attracted to children, and then the next sentence says some pedophile also rape or molest children, obviously that first sentence has nothing to do with physical acts, right? So when you want to make laws that are for something that's a non-physical activity, more so known as a thought crime, that's when you start to really cross the line and make it to where you're actually going against, you're doing things unjustly, for lack of a better word, right? And I always have to say this when we talk about this subject, because apparently, people like to misrepresent what you're saying, but no, I'm not trying to defend pedophiles. But you have to take into consideration, whenever you shit on the rights or the law or anything of that nature, you end up putting yourself in a situation to where if people want to, they can then turn around and shit on yours, because you're ignoring that line. You're ignoring the bounds of which we've agreed to, or which was drawn up as something you do or don't do, right? For example, when the guy who was the doctor for Michigan State, when he got arraigned, or when he went to court for all those acts he did on those girls, and the judge, now this has nothing to do with rights, this is just me, the best example I could think of off the top of my head. The judge said, "I just signed your death warrant." Now, if you don't know what that means, it can be assumed a few ways, but I'll go over two. For one, it can mean that you're going to jail for life and you're never getting out, which is mocking him. Or it could also mean that, hey, you know what they do in jail to people like you, which you're going to die after being brutally tortured. And I had tweeted and said that was unprofessional. And then people just kept coming at me saying, "Oh, so is molesting girls. That's not professional, blah, 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 blah." But people were missing the point in which, if a judge is willing to stoop to a level of a pedophile when they're supposed to be a professional, and they're in a professional setting at the moment, well, obviously you have some personal or some like vendetta or something, and that's not the area for that. Because now you open up the door to, okay, so was this really the right verdict? Was this really the proper way? Was he given too much? Because you as a judge apparently have this personal thing, right? So you're supposed to operate within the realms of what we're talking law. Supposed to operate within the realms of the law. That's what you're supposed to do. So I guess just try to get people to understand that. So, because you can get a lot of things wrong when you don't remain inside the bounds of what it is you're doing. All right, now, so hopefully this site has the age. Let's see here. Okay, so it says the individual must be at least 16 years of age and at least 5 years older than the child. So I'm guessing if you're 16 and the child is 11. So clearly, y'all, nobody knows the law. I'm not saying that I do, but clearly nobody knows the law, because technically by law you can be 16 and fucking a 12-year-old. How many people have went to court and to get that changed? Like, again, so you don't. Nobody really knows what they're talking about. They just knows how they want to sound in a certain realm. So that's that. But what's been on my mind up until today was so Michigan's the governor lady, she granted to give $300 extra to unemployment or something like that. Let's see here. I think this is it. Okay. Extra $300 a week in unemployment benefits approved for Michiganders. We're called Michiganders. We have a whack ass name for our people, but whatever. It says the federal government has approved Governor Gretchen Whitmer's administration application to add a $300 weekly supplement to Michigan unemployment insurance checks. Okay, look. So when people always were asking about a month ago why people who were employed has a problem with unemployed people getting extra money, this is the problem. Look, only for like the 2 or 3 weeks initially, or jobs like not there, but then immediately after that, the economy started to go right back to normal. You know what I mean? Like for Amazon never was not hiring people. Never. Amazon to this day, months later, still sends me a fucking email for $15 to $18 an hour. So now obviously that's not a lot of money, but if you're unemployed, you can go out here and get something. This is just you going, hey, it's more financially right for me to get this $300. Now, this $300. Now, no, we can't blame you for taking the better financial situation. But that doesn't mean that we can't be upset that they keep giving you a reason not to go back to work. But then we'll look at the people who do have to get up every Monday and drag their ass to work. That's bullshit. That's what pisses people off. But it says the extra benefits announced by President Donald Trump after Congress failed to agree on a new coronavirus stimulus package is only half as big as a $600 weekly supplement that had been in place earlier, but expired at the end of July. Please answer me why you need extra money to stay home. Like, you have all day to go over a budget. Why do you need extra money to stay home? Nigga, don't turn your lights off. Don't run your water more. Like, you don't need extra money to stay home. What is that? That's so dumb. Why the hell do you need extra money to do nothing? The new $300 weekly edition, approved by Federal Emergency Management Agency, will be retroactive August 1st. Quote, this is good news for thousands of Michiganders who are still without work as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. But it's still a short-term band-aid that falls short of what's needed, unquote, Whitmer said in the news release. Whitmer is, like I said last week, she has her head up, all the way up her ass. So she opened, she ever so nicely allowed us to go back to the gym. So how awesome of her. But only at 25% capacity. Bruh. This is the problem. This half-assing the COVID, like, this is so stupid. So you don't want COVID to spread. So you're just like, okay, go to the gym, but stay far away from each other. What? Dude, just open the fucking gyms and let people go as they please. This is so ridiculous. And then certain things can't be open. Like the steam room, the sauna, the basketball court, the racket court. They're just like, but yet you can still shower at the gym. You really think there's people standing there constantly spraying the shower every time someone comes out? No. You can go and stand in the spot, turn the knob, push the little soap dispenser on the side, walk out, and then the next person come in right behind you, do the same thing. There's no wait. There's no. You can just operate as is. The pools are open. This is so retarded. There's no deep cleaning of the bathrooms. So you go sit on the toilet seat, get up, someone else goes right behind you. Is that not the same thing? But then you go home to your people. What are you really doing? What are you really doing? Oh, fuck. Damn it. Okay. So again, you're half-assing because you don't really know what you're doing. Or you know what you're doing, but you know you're not really doing shit, so it's just like, whatever. Quote, we need the president, U.S. Senate Leader Mitch McConnell, and Congress to put partisanship aside and pass a bipartisan recovery package that will help us save lives and get people back on their feet. Michigan families, frontline workers, and small business owners are counting on the federal government to do the right thing and work together on their behalf, unquote. This is a problem. Stop counting on them. Stop giving them this much power. I heard this radio show host, Mike Valenti. This is like unrelated to a degree, but he did mention about they brought up guns because of the situations, and they made fun of the idea that people had guns just in case, they had to fight their government or a government and all this stuff. And it's just like, dude, you don't know that. It's funny to me how, and I may make next week's podcast about this, so you might hear this twice. But it's funny how you can literally look around the world and know that corrupt government exists. That they have had pictures. They have shown you that people still have slaves around the world. Look at China and their one-child policy. Dude, think about that. I'm not sure if it's still a thing, but at some point, people in China, if you have more than one child, they will come take it and throw it in the fucking river. So this idea of, we just need to just let the government do it. Dude, really? You really think that there will never be a president? There will never be a house of people that says, you know what, fuck this, let's just do China. You really believe that? You're that comfortable? Okay. The Unemployment Insurance Agency estimates about 900,000 to 10,000 Michiganders ought to receive at least $300 per week in supplemental benefits through the program. It allows for existing unemployment trust fund payments delivered by UIA to count as 25% matching funds required for participation. It is unclear how long funding for the program will last. It could last 3 weeks or longer for the funds to be distributed, said Jason Moon, a spokesperson for the Unemployment Insurance Agency. Dude, I just cannot stand any of this. I can't. I can't. Why? What? How do you? I still can't get over how do you mismanage your money more by being at home. You literally can map out your entire. What is this gas money to get back and forth to places to fill out applications? Is that it? That's the only thing that I could make sense of this. You don't need a babysitter. What do you? I'm not going to read the rest of this. I'm not. I think that's all I have. But yeah, that was this week's pissy news. So episode 9 in the books. Final episode next week. I'll take the week to think about how I'm going to do these seasons, because I don't want there to be too much time in between. So maybe I'll take like 4 to 6 weeks to figure out what the theme will be, and maybe have themes of the season from now on, as opposed to random news stories. But as said, be right, not positive.